sees the means of production, and the like and subscribe button. Isn't it fucked up how much clout Trump pulls here and Democrats don't? Like, Schumer is a bitch. It's insane. Like, the president has so much power. Like, when I see stuff like this, my thinking isn't, wow, everyone's afraid of Trump, they're all pussies. My thinking is like, wow, it turns out it's possible for the president to use, like, enormous cultural power and, you know, bully everyone into submission, which is what FDR did. It's just insane that, like, the Democrats exercise none of this. Not even, like, half of it. A tenth of it, a hundredth of it. There is zero incentive for any company or brand to be remotely critical of this administration. It destroys your ability to work with the White House and advance your policies, period. Anonymity to speak freely, of course. An official in the energy industry echoed that sense of fear here. And by the way, someone's going to be like, well, would you really want Democrats to do this? Yes. If we had a based-ass Democratic president, I would love it if they were like, oh, we're actually not going to be working with these like fascist, like Fox News. If you think OAN and Newsmax shouldn't be allowed as in the White House press corps, which I don't, by the way, I don't think OAN and Newsmax should be allowed in. I don't think they meet even the most baseline threshold for like a nonpartisan news age. I'm not even close, okay? And if you think they shouldn't be, why should Fox News be? Let them cry about it. Yeah, Breitbart. Yeah, I think I think that I'm going to be consistent on that. You know, would you if a Democrat was a president, would you really want them, like, you know, not working with openly partisan corporations that want to destroy the country and democracy and make life worse for everyone? Yeah, I don't know. I think I would like that. Why is it Republicans are capable of using this power for evil, but Democrats aren't capable of using it for good? I know I'm not suggesting that Democrats are even interested in using it, by the way. I'm just indicating that this is power you have as a leader. Meanwhile, like, libs on Twitter will get mad at you if you suggest that Biden had any more power than what he used. They'll unironically be like, well, what do you expect Kamala Harris to do? What do you expect Biden to do, dog? I don't know. Trump wasn't president for the past 4 years, and he still managed to build like an overwhelming tidal wave of corporate and public support. It's wild when Obama's White House denied Fox News access for some media events during his administration. Several other left-center media news networks opted out of the event too. Yeah, you have to crush that shit. It's a unified effort. But after Obama won in 2009, he had an actual mandate. He could have done whatever he wanted. And when Biden won after January 6th, he had an actual mandate. After J6, he could have done whatever he wanted. Trump has nothing compared to what they had. But Trump is nonetheless using this power, and they are not. How did they pass so many vote-suppressing laws, especially in Georgia during Biden's presidency? Yeah, he should have been threatening to withhold federal funding from them. Hey, Georgia, hey, red state, I see you're interested in, like, invalidating our democracy. Well, that's really tough, buddy. That's really tough for you. You want federal funding? That's too many times you've added me in one day, Uves. You're crossing the threshold. Don't learn this lesson the way Masaigu did. Leave our disco dev alone. They worked on Disco Elysium. Joe Manchin was too OP. I'm just talking about federal power. Yes? Oh, that's pretty cool. Anyway. An official in the energy industry echoed that sense of fear, hearing angst and frustration from all quarters, the official said via text message. But no one wants to be the first out of the box saying anything negative about Trump's decision-making. The paralysis reflects the broader mood of Trump's second administration, in which, by the way, this fear is so paralyzing. Please remember, Costco openly defied Trump and said, no, we're going to keep our DEI hiring incentives. And they have been weathering the economic storm way better than any comparable country. They suffered no consequences for it, in which he's targeted and threatened to destroy institutions that cross him, including law firms, universities, and more. With his tight grip on Washington, Trump has faced no meaningful resistance to policies that are upending the global economy, tearing up America's relationships with the closest allies, and making deep unilateral cuts to the federal government. Leaders have quickly learned that however harmful they think a Trump policy might be, publicly contradicting the president could be worse. Now, with the Trump administration doubling down on tariffs and trying to sell the country on short-term pain for long-term gain, it's unclear what the breaking point will be for officials and lobbyists representing the most impacted constituencies. I guess it's nice to be reminded that even the world's like wealthiest and most powerful lobbyists are still giant pussies. There's absolutely a sense that the administration is keeping a list and no one on K Street wants to be on it. Advocates for affected industries are scrambling to determine how durable the new tariffs will be. They point to Trump's swift reversal last month on targeting Canada and Mexico. which he largely paused amid an uproar from business leaders and even some Republicans. In a Truth Social post Friday, Trump wrote, "My policies will never change." Love that guy. You know what else he said, by the way? Big business is not worried about the tariffs because they know they are here to stay, but they are focused on the big, beautiful deal, which will supercharge our economy. Very important going on right now. He's literally doing the too big to fail thing. He's literally saying, like, hey, you regular people and small businesses combined, like, whatever, man. Big businesses, no, they'll be okay. China has been hit much harder than the U.S., not even close. Hang tough. It won't be easy, but the end result will be historic. Calling him the first president ever to campaign on making people's lives worse. I think a lot of business leaders are very frustrated that the process of getting here was opaque and that the decision points are so starkly black and white. I'm going to lose my shit on this one multi-client Republican lobbyist. What the f do you mean the process of getting here was opaque? What the f? He campaigned on doing exactly the thing that he's doing, and everyone already knew that he was like this. Idiots. They're not dealing with situations with more nuance, one multi-client Republican lobbyist said before adding, "I'm trying to say something profound without getting a call from the White House that says you're next." What's the Japanese proverb? The nail sticking up gets hammered down, the lobbyist added. On K Street, there's no value in being the nail sticking up right now. Another Republican lobbyist said they've been advising clients to, quote, soften their tone if they want to work with this White House. Oh my God. Who are these business leaders? Speaking on condition of anonymity, a White House, I'm sorry, it's just difficult to read. A White House ally close to the president's inner circle noted that the administration came up with were not true reciprocal tariffs. Yeah, they were ChatGPT tariffs. And that there is a question about whether they are even legal. The Trump ally said he and others in the administration expected business groups would challenge them in court. They're going to be sued off their asses as soon as it happens, the person said, by trade associations, companies, industry groups. No major trade group has filed litigation as of Friday midday. Every business tyrant thinks that they're going to be in on the inner circle, you know? Like, they all champion a president who upends the rule of law and talks about running for a third term and clearly has nothing but contempt for due process. And then they're like, whoa, 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 hold on. I thought I would be in the privileged inner circle when all this shit went down. I thought we'd be able to work all this out. What the f are you telling me that everything Trump said about the tariffs was correct and that they would apply to me as well? A person close to the administration argued that companies aren't being fearful about speaking out. Rather, they're trying to be strategic about how to engage with the president. People are smarter this time in dealing with the Trump administration, the person said. They know not to beat their chest and try to score points in the New York Times, but have conversations behind the scenes and try to make deals. I think it's about making deals and not antagonizing the administration. Definitely not fascism, by the way, when like the corporate media, like their response to this is like, well, as long as we don't publicly disobey the Fuhrer and we voice our concerns only in private meetings, we should be okay. There have been some cracks in the conference. Earlier this week, 4 Republican senators voted to help Democrats pass a resolution that would nullify the emergency powers Trump invoked last month to levy 25% tariffs on Canadian imports. That is true. There has been a little bit of pushback, but I don't want I'm going to be honest, guys. I think we need to suffer like way more. I think we need to double the tariffs. I think we need more. I am so terrified of us not sticking with the Hoover long enough to get the FDR. Like, that's the thing that scares me. I really don't want like us to go 90% of the way and then things stabilize because people are like, well, we object to the worst excesses of the Trump administration, but I think we'll be keeping, you know, a lot of it. And then things just stay bad forever. Do we really think there's going to be an FDR? Nobody thought there would be an FDR in 1929. Nobody in 1929 could have even comprehended an FDR. Vaush keeps saying we as if his wealthy ass is going to suffer lol. Hey, listen, motherfucker! I'm a class traitor, okay? That's listen, okay? Your ass coming at me. I am but a humble American proletarian. But you, Vaush, you come from the wealthy, privileged live streamer caste. And then I say, of course, this is true, but there is one commonality between us. We are both class traitors. Basically, what I'm saying is you would have shot Rosa Luxemburg. Sit the f down. Hody_7 in YouTube chat. Hey, Vaush, please remember that only about 20% of Americans voted for Trump. You can look at his approval ratings. It's not a secret. Like how many Americans think what he's doing is epic and red-pilled. 270 million innocent people having their lives ruined. This is the face of the election where the Democrats failed to counter the GOP's messaging and in fact validated those arguments. No, you don't. I'm sorry. We're playing for keeps on this one. How are we going to learn otherwise? I do not think people understand how potentially bad the consequences could be of what's happening right now being accepted as the new normal, which is a very real possibility. I would say that right now it's more likely than not that America permanently, or nothing's forever, but essentially permanently becomes this. Sometimes you have to hit rock bottom, right? I mean, we could just be Russia. A wealthier Russia? It could happen. We could do the Hungary thing. I don't know. How long do we have to weather that? 20, 30, 40 years? What if it was a century of American decline, of suffering for the people who live here, political persecutions, disappearances, the erosion of our constitutional rights, the point of near meaninglessness, before something meaningful changed, something got better, versus a crash out and then a crash the in FDR2, let's go. I'm not saying it's going to be that simple. I'm not, I'm painting over a lot. These factors are very complicated, but I am very worried about the hyper normalization. It's regular normalization. I don't know what a hyper normalization is, of the normalization of these patterns. It needs to become untenable. It's already happening in the eyes of the public. Percent of Americans who see Canada as a close ally went down from 62% to 45%. Republicans literally, there are a lot of Republicans who think Russia is good now. They are very malleable to the propaganda. And they're very, very, that sentiment is very powerful, very influential. The media environment reinforces it. We need the roots need to be pulled up. So you're an accelerationist now? Yeah, that's not a secret. It's been the case since the inauguration. Wouldn't you want to race through the bad times? That would require whoever gets in the power on the Dem side basically using the law to its fullest extent without regard for seeming partisan. Yeah, that's happened before. That was normal for all of American history up until the 1980s. Literally, up until basically Reagan and Bill Clinton on the Democrat side, the idea of unabashed partisanship in how you conduct your executive affairs, it was not uncommon. Why don't we use the power we have? Why does all the power have to be used by the bad people? Why punish everyone for the action of few? Rapty Feathers, I don't think you're critically engaging with the arguments that I've made. I think you're just upset at the idea that there is a historical trajectory to the path this country has taken, and we're all kind of on the roller coaster right now. But I'm not the one who pulled the lever and set us down this road, okay? We should all be upset. We should all be upset. None of us asked for this. We didn't compel the government to be as it is, or ask the Democrats to be so ineffectual and useless. We've been offering the good advice, the solutions, the entire time. But we're just people. We're just regular old people. We're not the president. We're not in Congress. Chat does not realize FDR was the governor of New York in 1929. Hoover won 58% of the popular vote just 1 year prior, but by 1932 he lost with only 39% of the popular vote. And even then, 39%, Jesus. He campaigned on this, one GOP senator whispered as panic stirred in the Senate hallways. This is just the beginning. Bring it on. Okay, I see the damn link, guys. Okay, why is Canadian Parliament on fire? Actually, though. Canada's Parliament building has been shut down as police tell people to avoid the area. The Parliament of Canada's Parliamentary Protective Service, that's quite a name, has released an urgent warning announcing a lockdown at 111 Wellington Street, Canada's House of Commons. People have been told to seek shelter in the nearest room and lock all doors and hide. Huge police presence was seen outside the building, squad cars lining the street, still not known what sparked the lockdown. Surely we can get a live feed on this. CBC Live, YouTube?
Download for free.
Nope. Canada, Parliament, lockdown, anything? Seems like kind of a big deal, in my opinion. Videos from 10 years ago. I'm not seeing any video. There's no video, no stream, nothing? Don't worry about it. I'm not worried about it. I'm kind of curious. Filter past 24 hours, anything? Okay, breaking. Parliament Hill under attack, full lockdown from Mr. Sunshine Baby. This is literally the only thing on YouTube about it.
For reasons that are unknown right now, as the story is ongoing and to seek shelter and hide.
Okay, I think he's just read the article too. You got this video out fast. You're on the ball, man. Is this a conservative channel? Use code SAVECANADA for 20% store-wide merch. Yeah, it's probably a conservative channel. Why is this your thing? There's Trudeau crying. Pierre Poilievre humiliates Mark Carney and destroys his entire campaign. Somehow I doubt that's true. Mark Carney is suing President Trump over tariffs. The end of Carney. It really is crazy how every single one of these channels is exactly the same with no differences. And look, he uses the same picture of him doing the Mr. Beast face in every video. Look at this. Look at this, dude. It's every one of them. It's just the same picture. Unending slop. Can you imagine being a Polivier guy post Donald Trump's inauguration? Like, with the numbers being what they are, the way everything's shifted. It's like, Jesus, man. It'd be one thing if we were here, but now we're here. Oh. These channels are making me think the dead internet theory is already true. Well, I just think when I say, like, we need to pull up from the roots, I mean that this should be illegal too. I'm sorry, like, not like making conservative videos necessarily, but I guarantee you that if I watch this guy for 30 minutes, he would be making like he would be engaging in the kind of like libelous slop. Not libelous, slanderous. That's not even the right. It's more like this person is a contributor to civilizational decline, I think. I'm just guessing. He's a conservative, yeah. Yeah, but it's not just being a conservative, because I have known in my life that there are conservatives who actually like believe what they say. How do I put this? I would rather, I'm trying to think of an example. Okay, remember alt-hype, alternative hypothesis, that neo who made a bunch of videos on race and IQ? I think that should be allowed, and stuff like this shouldn't. Because I think that insincerity is a civilizational plague that we need to deal with somehow. Like, it's not even about people having the bad positions. It's about people just having obviously no commitment to the truth at all, and they will just say, like, how are you making the end of Mark Carney now? What are you doing? Come on. How do you mandate good faith? I mean, there are, like, to an extent, that's already a thing, right?